All right, guys, so you can see that my work surface is a little bit messy from that slipping and scoring video. So what I'm going to do is I'm always going to try and keep it clean by just kind of wiping it with my sponge. But guys, don't add too much water to these masonite boards because they will warp. They're not fine wood, right? So we don't want these to get bubbly and warp and start kind of falling apart. They're masonite, they're cheap. All right, so after you wedge your clay and you know you don't have any bubbles in it, you are going to take your piece of clay. I would say the clay size that you need is about the size of a fist, right? Maybe a little bigger. Maybe if you have tiny hands, the size of 2 fists, right? Get that big of clay. So then you're going to try your best to make this into one big ball. So I'm actually going to kind of smack these corners down lightly with the palm of my hand, and I'm just going to kind of keep making it rounder and rounder. Cool. I can even kind of smooth those wrinkles and stuff if I want. They don't really matter. But if you're particular like me, you might even kind of just take your finger and glide it over the surface and see how it kind of erases those wrinkles. All right, that's a pretty good sphere. It might not be perfect. You can keep going if you want it more perfect. So the way that you are going to create your very first pinch pot is by inserting your thumb into this ball. So you're going to take your thumb and boom, put it in. Don't go all the way through, right? So this hole right here is essentially going to be the inside of your pinch pot. So what you're going to do is you're going to slowly pinch around the pot. So I'm pinching between my fingers and my thumb, and I'm pinching, pinch, 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 and I'm working my way around the pot. And I'm not pinching too hard because we don't want our pot to turn out wobbly or weird, right? We want to go slow because we want to get the thickness to end up being the thickness of our thumb, just like what we said in the 10 golden rules of ceramics last week. So pinch, you can pinch kind of towards the top of your pot and here. Definitely pinch towards the bottom, right? Because this is often left too thick. So I'm going to do that by pinching between my palm and my thumb. Sometimes it's hard to get all the way down in there to pinch it. So if you can see in the inside, I'm pinching down with my thumb to my palm, and I'm feeling between my fingers and my thumb, I'm feeling the thickness of all the walls, and I'm trying to pinch them to keep them even, right? So I'm trying to get them as even as possible. But at the same time, I'm also thinking about the meaning of wabi-sabi and how it's not always going to be super perfect. And I'm going to keep trying to even out the edges and the sides while making this into a little cup shape. So I'm going to keep working my way around. And as you work your way around, pinching between your fingers and your thumbs, trying to keep your walls even, you'll see that a cup or a mug or a pot shape emerges, right? You can see on the inside there. Not perfect on the inside. You can see some of my fingernail spots. That's okay. We can go and fix that later. So I'm just going to measure it to my thumb. Hey, that's pretty good. Feels kind of heavy. So if it's too heavy, I can actually remove a little clay if I want. And I'm just going to keep working. I can actually fit my whole hand in there now, so I can thin out that bottom. Check this bottom area around here from the hole to around here. This area in here very often ends up way too thick. So I'm just going to kind of thin that out because mine's too thick. Sometimes it's hard to reach down there when you're pinching around the sphere. Use my hand to smooth out some inconsistencies on the inside. And you might have a shape like this. Yours might end up way more open at the top, right? Because everyone's is going to be different. So yours could end up more open. Yours could have ended up more like a bowl. Yours could have ended up with a tiny circle at the top. Maybe yours is ended up with kind of a lip that goes out like this, right? So maybe yours is kind of like that. That's okay. It's a nice bowl shape, right? And plus this is wabi-sabi. Wabi-sabi. One thing, as you can see here, is it got a little too thin right here, right? Kind of starting to see a lip there. So one thing that I can do is go back and slip and score that, score and slip, I mean. Put it right back together. Smudge it back together. Now I've got those two pieces fixed and smudged back together. And I'm just going to kind of go back and smooth over that. Now you can't even tell that it ripped. Okay? So that's your first thing, is to make a wabi-sabi bowl. Now on this wabi-sabi bowl, we're not done with it quite yet, but mine's very, very plastic. So I'm actually going to leave this out for about half an hour before I put it away. I want it to lose a little bit of moisture. I don't want it to be this wet, because what we're going to do next time, we are going to add texture to this. So we need it to be closer to a leather hard stage to do that. So now that I've got my wabi-sabi pinch pot shape and I'm happy with it, I might kind of play with this a little bit more and work on it a little bit more and make sure my sides feel even. And then I'm going to set it aside and let it sit out for just a little while. Maybe I'll put a timer on my phone so I don't forget about it, and just let it sit and dry out a little bit so we can get it closer to the leather hard stage. Don't forget, after you've let it sit out for a while, to store it inside a bag. Get it as airtight as possible. Okay, that's how you store it. Make sure this is closed all the way. And then put it back in your tub, your tray, like that. All right, and that's after you let it dry out. See you next time.